hope this question isn't too imposing. Is it, when you officiate, is it like non-denominational, or are you...
What do you mean by that?
Passing curiosity. Have you heard of the Stormlord?
Yeah.
I've been hearing a lot of talk about them, and it seems as though their worshippers are quite pervasive around Los Santos, and it's something I'll admit I haven't heard of before, and you've certainly lived here for a while.
Who have you heard it from?
There are some individuals who work out of a place called the Cauldron up in Polito Bay who have brought them up quite a bit. I think they call themselves the Guild.
The Guild, yeah. I know them. Well, funny enough, I know a lot about the Stormlord, yeah. I actually used to run a church for it back in the day.
Oh, really?
Yeah. The Guild actually were, I guess, how do I word it? I was the one that spread the word to them for them to become believers. You know what I mean? I guess is the best way to word it.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. I convinced them to help me open a church, and for a few years there, we spent our time, spreading His word and His grace and what He's all about.
That is wow. I'll admit I've had quite a bit of curiosity about it, as I suppose as the one who spreads the word, you undoubtedly have seen some similarities to some degree between the way that, I suppose, followers of the Stormlord and we at New Epsilon greet other people.
Yeah, how did you know about that? Who told you about that?
I'll admit it seems as though some individuals of the guild were perhaps curious as to what our deal is, and have been asking quite a lot of questions, and have evoked the name of this Stormlord, and I realized I haven't really heard of them before, so...
Well, listen, between you and me, I mean, it's not even between you and me. You can tell whatever the fuck you want. The guild don't know shit about the Stormlord. They ain't believers no more. They've what's the word when you pretty much walk away from something? Like, what's the word I'm looking for here?
You exit, you reform, depart, abandon.
I guess they abandoned the ideology, the religion, and all its beliefs. They were tested.
Defect.
And truthfully, they showed that they were just not real believers in all of that.
Wow, that's...
So I would take anything they say with a grain of salt. I mean, did we have a lot of similarities to what you do now? In some way, sure, but I believe what you're doing here is much more pure. And it really seems the people around you really are, they really bought into the message here,
I appreciate that. It's, I'll be very plain here. I've certainly had a lot of curiosity surrounding it, as apparently a lot of your employees also, or former employees at Rooster's Rest, from what I was told, also use that greeting. So I was curious as to how something tied to a faith like that would end up being utilized so frequently in a restaurant.
I mean, it went hand in hand, I guess before we really had the church, a lot of the you ever have like a church meeting that wasn't at church? What were they called again? You mean like you would like meet at somebody's house? It was kind of like that, but we would just meet at Roosters, late hours. And we talk about the Stormlord and all he does and all the books we had at the time and whatnot. It's almost like a Bible study in a way.
Okay.
This is the beginning, and then that hand gesture there kind of came for all that. But it also had like multiple meanings. You know, it was the way we just greeted people. It was part of the I guess of the theme, the ambiance of Rooster's Rest itself. It's transcended. You know, just a greet, just like you would just wave in multiple different situations. So it was almost the same idea.
Mm-hmm.
And as we grew, as the religion grew, you know, obviously we expanded to a church, and we tried to share its word to everybody in the fucking city. And you know, some people bought in, some people thought we were fucking crazy. It is what it is. Do I still believe in the storm until this day? Fuck yeah, I do.
Wow. I appreciate you for indulging my curiosity. I'm a bit of a universalist in a way, so learning from different perspectives, especially from something that seems to have such a hold on people, is of quite interest to me.
Well, like I said, I'm an open book. I don't mind answering any question you got, no matter how what's the word, how blunt you think it may be. You just feel free to ask, honestly.
Mm-hmm. That is quite generous, indeed. Actually, speaking of the restaurant, one of my friends found something that might be of interest if you're still worried about those investors, I suppose.
Sure, what you got?
We've been trying to dig into... It's probably a bit gauche of us to do this, but we've been trying to dig into what exactly, or who exactly, you know, who our anonymous benefactor is at the Epsilon Center here, right?
Right.
And unfortunately, I do not have... Do you have a notebook on you by chance?
A notebook, I do, yeah.
We've been trying to dig in, and unfortunately, I do not have a copy of the business card with me, but I happen to have a, what appears to be an Epsilon Collective business card with me, and one of my good friends combined the Nest logo that was found on some of your moving boxes with that business card, and there seem to be some similarities to some degree, and I'm wondering if you may perhaps agree or disagree with the connection being made here. It might be overcooking. Oh yeah, chat, this is what I'm showing him.
I'm assuming the implication here is, I guess, on the sketch that I'm looking at. What is this? It's just, do you believe like the Nest logo has something to do with Epsilon?
It's not us, Epsilon. We're wondering if it has something to do with, forgive me if this sounds like the rabblings of a madman, but, you know those newer high-rises in Legion Square?
Yeah.
There's a billboard advertising several different companies on it. Wolf International, Nest Construction, I believe.
Yeah.
And the Epsilon Collective, which, I will say is separate from New Epsilon, I should note. And, I really do regret I don't have it on me, but, the Epsilon business card that I had, I just happened upon it, bears a symbol, that little circle egg symbol, turned sideways on the card, and it sort of... It seems as though it represents the Nest symbol, and I'm wondering if they're connected by chance. And I'm curious if you may share that perspective. Seeing
Well,
as
if I'm
how
being
these people tried
transparent,
to...
go ahead.
Oh, no. You go ahead.
If I'm being fully transparent, I mean, when all this shit happened with me and going to jail and the house arrest and whatnot, I guess at the same time, like I was you know, sort of figuring out a lot. People were telling me a lot of things were being uncovered or whatever. I don't know if you know Edgar. He was crazy conspiracy theorist diving deep into this shit. And then he mentioned, you know, the same billboards you just did. So I went over to take a look, and obviously I saw, you know, most of them. The one that caught my eye was Epsilon, because the timing was crazy. That while I was in jail, I met shit. What was his name? The man with the afro.
DC.
DC. I met DC in jail, and he brought up New Epsilon, and you know, gave me a pamphlet, gave me a whole spiel. It was very powerful actually. He's a very good member here. And you know, so shortly after, you know, did all that, figured whatever, got out, saw that billboard. I'm like, okay, holy shit, what the fuck is this Epsilon shit going on? I didn't realize that these were completely separate. I always thought they were just the same.
We are, in a way, well, I suppose some in the Epsilon program would see New Epsilon as a bastardization to some degree.
You sure about that? I mean, you said the building was given to you, was it not?
It was indeed, which I suppose is why I'm perhaps overly curious, wanting to make sure that we're not, I'll be perfectly plain, not owing a debt to anyone, and if this was indeed given in earnest. If you understand my drift.
I mean, from my experience, everything comes at a cost, no? Nothing is ever really given for free. Or maybe it is, I don't know. This is my experience.
I'm hesitantly inclined to agree with you. A gift never is just a gift, so... I know a lot of people have put a lot of work into this, and the last thing I want is for, you know, any investors to expect us to pivot or change what we are doing simply because we owe a favor for their generosity.
Yeah, hold on. Sorry, I normally wouldn't take a phone call, but
it's quite all right.
Harry never calls me. Just give me a sec.
I'm at my leisure.
Hello? What's up, Harry?
Eliza's doing a little bit of a gamble. We'll see. Yeah, I know. Yeah, we'll see. Okay, so chat, this is what Eliza showed me. No worries.
Yeah, I mean,
no worries at all.
You ever figure out who gave her this place? I mean, has anything ever happened from that, or?
Not as of yet, no. No conclusive evidence, at least. Okay. But there is a part of me that is wondering, perhaps, if the same group that attempted to purchase Roosters is the same group that extended their generosity our way.
I mean, it's a thought I had. I mean, could be. Like you said, we shared maybe a lot of similarities, and they're taking a liking to that for whatever reason. The influence, the power that you so easily have given to people. I will say, what you do is very powerful, right? A lot of people, you know, to speak plainly, are very bad at doing anything in this city, especially getting 3 people in a room. And then they'll use excuses as, yeah, they'll make a bunch of excuses. Oh, I'm not popular, or I don't have this, I don't have that, I'm not this person, I can't get access to this, I can get access to that. And there's those rare motherfuckers who come out of nowhere and prove everybody wrong. That you can just do what you are passionate about, and if you are very passionate about it, people will, you know, follow you, or at least lend you some time to understand what you were about, right? And you've done that masterfully. You, I mean, the influence you were spreading, I mean, fuck, I mean, everybody in the mother I know since Kifflom now.
I appreciate that. It is, I find difficult sometimes to take a step back and see how far one has traveled along the path.
And on top of that, you didn't need any sort of, you never asked for many excuses, you just did what you did. You had nothing, I'm assuming anyways, and you built it into something. Regardless of what, you know, regardless of whatever you thought you may need it or wanted to make it better, you just did it either way.
I appreciate
something
that.
I admire in people. So
I really appreciate hearing you say that. It's Something people often forget. Talk about manifesting. They have dreams, sparkles in their eyes, inclinations, planting a seed in their head that they wish into a tree, but manifestation is nothing without intention, without action.
That's fucking right. Amen to that, or Kifflom to that.
It's quite all right. We're not a religion.
Yeah, well, sometimes it feels like you are.
I suppose religion is for the religious, and that is for them to determine.
Yeah, that's fair.
A lot of interesting webs.
Well, listen, like I said, you ever have any questions, give me a call. You ever want to learn more about the Stormlord, not from the guild, who I'm sure they're spreading its true word, but again, a lot of resentment from them there. So just be careful with that. Not that they're bad people, but, you know, be careful.
I appreciate the heads up. I certainly was given a couple of loose pages that I have in my notebook here about the Stormlord, but I would be quite curious to... You know what? I can hear. It's a couple of pages, if you don't mind being burdened by it by any means.
Yeah, no worries. Let me make some room here. That shit.
Easily enough. It was a very curious conversation. They had invited us over for dinner and basically gave us a whole spiel about the Stormlord and about their history and whatnot, and they spoke about how they worked at Roosters, and I thought, oh, curious coincidence there.
Yeah, they were, funny enough, they were the first employees I ever hired there.
Really?
Yeah, so when I opened the restaurant, I want to do like a whole like theme, right? And you know, stick to like character, like almost going to Disneyland or some shit. You know what I mean?
Hey, thanks for the follows.
And
what's up?
you know, I don't know if you know about the guild, but they're like permanent role play characters.
Oh,
have you met like Bjorn, for
Oh.
example? Bjorn, like that's not like his real name is Lars Harberford. He's not Bjorn.
Oh.
Bjorn is his role play character. Yeah.
That
thought,
makes
you
a
know
lot
what?
of things make sense.
Yeah, and I thought, you know, what better employees and guys who just fucking stick to these roleplay characters no matter what. So, you know, you come into Roosters and you're running into wizards
Hey.
and barbarians and whatnot. It was like a whole theme, you know? So they're like the perfect employees for it, pretty much. Yeah.
I appreciate you indulging my curiosity. I imagine it's not particularly pleasant to have to revisit the past. Especially
Oh, I don't mind
on
at
your
all. I've
journey
embraced my
forward.
past now. Like I said, I was running from it for a while, and through obviously my rehabilitation and through a new Epsilon, I've learned to just embrace it now. So it don't scare me no more.
Actually does my heart good to hear. It is a difficult
right.
journey to surpass, certainly.
That's fucking right.
I do not wish to monopolize any more of your time, but I am indeed quite interested in learning more about the Stormlord if you are ever at your leisure.
I'll tell you what, I'll give you a call maybe sometime next week. Just swing by Roosters Rest. We can chat in there. We'll go over some books.
Absolutely delighted by that. Yes, indeed. Ha!
Maybe on
Scholarly!
what about Monday? Let's do it on Monday.
Monday is perfect.
All right. I'll see you Monday. I'll show you what the Stormlord really is about.
Ah.
Go through its actual books, okay?
Wow,